Welcome to Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I am your host, Jay Taylor. I'm talking to you from Queens, the borough of Queens, New York City. This is the 5th day of October, 2021. I always like to thank you for listening and encourage you to continue sending along whatever comments and questions you have about this show, things that might be talked about. If you have some other ideas, feel free to share them with us. We're always glad to hear from our listeners. And I do want to invite you to tell your friends about this show as well. But it's questionsfortaylor@gmail.com to share your thoughts, ideas, questions, whatever ideas you have. Pass them on to us. We'd like to hear from you. We also want to thank our sponsors for making the show economically viable. Our sponsors for this week: Novo Resources, El Oro Resources, Hannon Metals, Labrador Gold Corp, Lion One Metals, SK Mining Corp, and Firefox Gold. I've titled today's show, Can Cryptocurrencies Be Backed by Gold? Frank Holmes, Michael Hudson, and Chen Lin are my guests this week. The last time we talked with Frank Holmes, he suggested that China is leading the world towards a cryptocurrency that would be backed by gold. But do we really want or need a cryptocurrency, whether or not backed by gold? If the Chinese virtual currency is engineered to remove all freedoms and liberties from every human being by government or wherever you with respect to where you go, what you buy, or what you are allowed to believe. By contrast, gold has served as the most fair, egalitarian, pro-free market money ever used by humankind. While gold systems have in the past helped to slow down government theft by way of inflation, is there any reason to think the Chinese government, or any government for that matter, would allow a gold-backed monetary system to lead to a free market capitalist system that would, at the same time, allow the population to believe anything other than what the governments desired them to believe? Of course, there is a little doubt about where this is all heading, and this is towards, in my view, a one-world government without borders. We are indeed starting to see that play out in the United States, where the Biden administration is encouraging the entire world to come and live in America and, of course, vote Democrat. In any event, getting back to gold, what would be the purpose of China, for example, backing its digital yuan with gold? Well, since Frank suggested that was the direction China is heading, I hope to address that topic with him, as well as questions about a very profitable company he runs named Hive Blockchain Technologies. That company trades on the NASDAQ at around a little under $3 a share right now. Hive's business is to mine Ethereum and Bitcoin. What would be the purpose then, I'm wondering, of China backing a digital yuan by gold? Those are some of the issues we want to talk to Frank about, as well as getting into understanding a little more about his company. In just a few minutes, I'll be talking to Michael Hudson of Hannon Metals. That's a company that is onto a very large sedimentary-hosted copper-silver discovery in Peru, and we will get an update from Michael regarding the company's progress after a first commercial break. I know they recently came out with some surface assays that were really spectacular. And as Quentin Henning has talked about on this show, those sedimentary hosted structures run for many miles. It is potentially a world-class discovery, so we'll look forward to hearing from Michael right after a commercial break. But right now I'm happy to tell you that Chen Lin is with me to share some of his thoughts about the markets, and it's always good to have Chen with us. So you should go to chenpicks.com to sign up for his newsletter. What is Chen buying? What is Chen selling? Thanks for joining me, Chen.
Thank you, Jay. Glad to be here.
It's always good to have you with me. And, you just heard my comments leading up to the discussion with Frank Holmes later today's show. What are your thoughts these days about China moving towards a digital currency? I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, but if not, what's going on in China these days? We're hearing a lot about energy shortages. Of course, the real estate issue, where a big company is having problems paying its bills and so forth. But tell us what your thoughts are about China these days.
Yeah, just quickly, I think China is trying to evolve to digital currency. Basically, the idea is bypass the SWIFT system that's dominated by United States, controlled by United States. I think that's the idea. I'm not sure they can back by gold. They did not enough gold to back it up. And again, I send you the chart. Chinese debt also going through the roof. So I don't think they can back by gold, but they want to go digital. Okay, so On the other hand, China right now get into this multiple front have a crisis. One is the real estate. Real estate is evergrande. Actually, I talk about that before everybody in my Metals Investment Forum presentation, and at that time already started to crashing. Right? So it halted trading this the Monday, that 2 days ago in Hong Kong. So that's led to the crash of the market yesterday in the United States. And now it seems to be bouncing back now. Today have a big bounce back. But so that's one issue. Second is that China is having an energy crunch right now. There's a rolling blackout for the Chinese, about half of China, right? Most of the factories were told they can only have electricity 1 day a week in China, even in Guangdong, even not just Northeast, even Guangdong. There's multiple reasons. And, their excuse is that China has reached the carbon, limit. They cannot generate more electricity. I think it's BS. It's most likely multiple reasons. Because the shoulder season, renewable energy is very weak. Solar is weak. The wind is weak, hydro is weak, so there's extra demand, and then coal price is so high, LNG price is so high, so it's a lose money for those companies to generate electricity. So they just want the government to step in and pay the bill, to subsidize. So I think that's probably the reason. Right now, China has this holiday, national holiday for a week, so we have to see it next week when they come back from the holiday, what's going to happen. I think government probably will do something to resolve this energy crisis. In the meantime, the shipping rate from China to the United States has been dropping like a rock in the past few days because factories are shutting down, right? So this goods are not coming to the United States. So we could have empty shelves in Christmas. So the advice is if you want a Christmas gift, you better buy it now instead of waiting for the Christmas.
Very interesting. But this sounds a little bit like it could be the repercussions, though, of the greening of this world. I mean, coal prices are very high. Why? It's not as if there's a lack of coal in the world. We're not allowed to produce coal, of course, anymore, I guess. What about, I guess, other sources? So is this really impacting the supply chain then, I guess, in a major way? I mean, I thought it was the docks, the people working on the docks to unload the ships and that sort of thing. Or is it several different factors, I suppose?
Right. There's a multiple fronts. Start with the natural gas price in Europe. I think Russian probably play with this Nord Stream 2, right? Russian may intentionally hold back some of natural gas. That's caused the spike of the natural gas price in Europe. That's where it started. And now we have natural gas price in the United States also. And then they rose so high. All the people who short natural gas they're getting margin calls, right? So so same thing for coal. It's like a rush to this for this energy related. So if we have a cold winter, watch out. Oil and natural gas, everything will be very expensive. And for investors, one thing to look for obviously is energy play, right? So I know even yesterday the market was down. Only thing goes up was energy. When I see on my screen, that my energy holding are doing well. So that's a trade, and unfortunately, it's a negative for gold mining because oil price go high. The operating costs for the gold miners are going higher, so that's a negative for the gold mining. So.
Oh, what about gold itself, though, Chen? Before I ask you about one of your favorite biotechs, how do you see gold playing out this year yet?
I think gold right now it's battling. Right now, key area at 1750 to 1775, and if it can go up and down, but before the job number, I think the job number this week will decide the near term position direction. I'm still, I said for a few months, I'm waiting for the tapering announcement at the end of the year and tax loss selling. I think that's probably a great opportunity to buy gold miner. But right now, there's still already some gold miners so undervalued you can start buying, like a Centera, many others. But we probably don't have time to discuss. But they're so cheap, and it's really down to the toilet already, even use the current valuation.
Yeah, I know. But meantime, though, you're seeing an opportunity in the biotechs, and they've been down most of the year, but now they're looking up, and one in particular, symbol SNPX. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, this one I recommended in my newsletter about 2 weeks ago. At slightly lower price today. I actually have a big jump because there's an article about that. It's Alzheimer, and it's one of the few Alzheimer's drug that's in phase 2. I mean, we know like Alzheimer, most of the trial failed. They actually in phase 2, and then they're sponsored by NIH, which is the National Institute of Health. NIH don't write a check for nothing. They have seen their prior phase 2 has a very good chance of success. And actually, they're the only drug candidate actually can reverse Alzheimer and significantly reverse Alzheimer. So you look at the Cassava, SAVA, right? That stock is $2.5 billion. But their phase 2 will reduce, the Alzheimer, reduce the Alzheimer significance by 3 points. But this one, we already have 6 points in the prior trial. So if this phase 2 will be successful, this can be huge. The market cap only $60 million, right? $10 stock. Even today after big run, $10 stock is $5 cash. And then NIH has sponsored the trial, which means they are not burning money. So by the time mid next year the data come out, they still have $5. So the downside is quite limited, and the upside is huge. If you think if it can go to multi-billion-dollar with a possible readout, that's almost $100, right?
Did I hear you correctly, Chen? That the market cap is, what did you say, 60 million?
Right now, today, even with today, big jump is 60 million.
Only
when
60
I
million.
It was much lower.
And they're in what phase now?
30 million. Have a 32 million cash. So have $5 and change in cash. And then they're not burning the cash because our government, NIH, saw their phase 2. They said, okay, we will sponsor you this coming trial. So NIH is writing the check for the trial. So that's very significant. Not many companies can claim that.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've been watching this one and, have a few shares myself. It's a very, very exciting story. What about Amyris and some of those others that you've been really on top of?
Oh yeah, I'm quite excited. Still very excited about Amyris. Amyris, they have quite a few things coming up. They already confirmed in a recent presentation they have a $400 million revenue this year, and then they're going to $1 billion in 2 to 3 years. Okay, so it's a fast-growing company. Those technology companies, once they reach a threshold, their cost is almost fixed. Once the revenue reaches a threshold, it's free cash flow. That's like a Google, like all the other their investors, including Google, Apple, the prior investor, Clem Perkins, right? So if they can reach those goals, I mean, the shorts, they were desperately hanging on for their shorting position. It game over, right? Once they start generating free cash flow. So this year is a very crucial year, and then they have many exciting technology coming out. Many exciting. They can, for example, they can grow marijuana or use a tank. Actually, this week China have a big news. We can grow starch with the carbon dioxide in the tank. They think that they're very happy about that. But I think Amyris probably can do it a few years ago because, just marijuana is more valuable. They already have the technology. So, it's very exciting. Well, what Chinese was very excited because you can grow in the space travel. You can do that in space travel, right? You can have a carbon dioxide from the human being, and then you become a starch and become oxygen out. But that's very, very far, right?
That's far out
again,
in the future,
those are the future of the technology. We may not grow corn anymore, not grow soybean anymore. We will, use those a synthetic way. It's 10, 20 times more efficient. And, everything was mass-produced. It's amazing. But anyway, that's where Amyris is, right? It's a cutting-edge area, actually cutting-area competition between United States and China. It's one of the key areas. That's actually Amyris is having the lead. It's a world leader in this area.
Well, I think, though, what is important, Chen, is that people have to be patient in the early days. But the patience can pay off, as you name some of those other high-tech stocks. I can remember getting all excited about them and then not seeing them go anywhere for a while and giving up on them and walking away, only to be very sorry years later. So I think sometimes patience makes sense, and you just have to keep on top of the story. And one of the ways, folks, you can do that is by signing up for Chen's letter. What is Chen buying? What is Chen selling? He keeps his subscribers posted on the developments of these companies that he's honed in on. Chen, that's all the time we have now, but thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your ideas. Always very exciting and interesting. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Jay.